Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to 30 Minutes of Wisdom. I'm your host, Robin Blank Mascari, and we get together regularly to share wonderful thought leaders to support your personal and professional development. And I do this because, that's my passion in our business. We have this wonderful opportunity to grow and blossom in a safe environment. And we have a special guest today that I'm excited about, and you will be too when you start to hear her. She's part of a member of our community, as have been many of our guests. So if you've got something wonderful to share, we'd love to have you share it with our community. So our guest today, she is a self-care coach for spiritual entrepreneurs. She teaches business owners that self-care is actually a marketing strategy that helps businesses grow and thrive. She has a master's degree in community economic development, a background in financial services, and has been helping people reach their career and business goals for almost 20 years. Her book, Go Forward Fearlessly, supports people in successfully navigating career and other major life transitions. And she's been a distributor with LifeWave since April of 2020, loves the products, loves the community. And I have so enjoyed working with her, learning from her. I want to be in all her classes because she offers so many treasures for all of us. And today, I am thrilled to welcome Connie Ward, Connie Livingston, Cornelia Ward. She has dual personalities. She's a wonderful gift to all of us to talk about Meetup magic. Connie, come on. There she is.
Off and then on. How are you? Hi, everybody.
Hi, I'm so glad to have you. And this is, talk about a timely subject. People are getting together again, and we probably should have done this a year and a half ago, when people couldn't be together, but now we can be together. Some people want to be together in person, some people online, some people, send people to other places. So meetups are something that a lot of people have heard about, but not everybody knows what they are. So could you kind of describe what is a meetup?
Yeah, a meetup is basically something we've all been to. It's either an in-person or a virtual meeting, just like now. You could call, like now could be a meetup, right? If it was announced on Meetup. And Meetup is actually a company and a website that was created for the purposes of connecting people for community, for that connection, and also for self-improvement. So that's why it's also such a great fit for LifeWave, right? Because that's what we're all about here as well.
I love it. So it's an organization. Is it in the US? Is it all over the world?
I think the company is based, I believe, in New York City, which is where it was founded. But you can actually go to a meetup virtually or in person in any country in the world except for North Korea.
Okay, well, isn't that interesting? And is there a website that people can learn about Meetup?
Yeah, if you just go to meetup.com, and there are 35 million members, which is, a massive database, which is why this works so well. So I hope a lot of people are gonna really be able to use this information to really build their businesses, even if they're getting started. It's a great way to just teach what you love and what you've learned in LifeWave, and to help other people.
Okay, so that brings me into the next question. Why is this particular time a great time for LifeWave members to engage and learn about Meetup and use it?
So I heard, was it about a month ago, Darlene started talking about parties. And of course, you and Gregory were promoting your Colorado events. And as soon as I heard that Darlene was doing these home parties, I was like, I used to do that. I used to do home stuff in home parties, home meetings through Meetup. And I was like, I have to tell Robin that I can get our community my free magical meetup strategy mini course. And that's where kind of it all got started in my head. But in terms of the timing, I mean, who isn't craving community right now? Like us, but also other people. And plus, meetups like you and Gregory in Colorado. I was here in Vermont. I was thinking, I wish I was in Colorado because it looked like you were having so much fun. I mean, so those are two things we're really craving right now is community and fun. And Meetup is like perfect for that.
Okay, well, you ready to share what you did? It was so fun that we were in Denver and I met this woman that was there and she was a guest of Connie. So why don't you talk about what happened and how that happened and what happened after that?
Yeah. So if it's okay, I'll tell the Meetup version. I'm sorry, the LifeWave version, right? And then I can give my backdrop if it's okay on like my coaching business as well, because those are really where the numbers are pretty impressive as well. So, I mean, literally, I think she came to the Friday Night Colorado event. She's from Colorado. Now, remember, I'm here in Vermont, okay? And so, Robin, what you said when you promoted this talk, you're absolutely right that you can have meetups remotely. So this all happened while I was sleeping in Vermont and in Colorado. They were having this event in the evening. And I literally announced that meetup event on Meetup, I think Thursday. And I was like, you know, who knows who's going to show up, but I really want to let people know about these free stem cell seminars. And so she actually, this woman RSVP'd right away. So I knew she was coming. I'd given her the form, right, with my name and everything on it, like you told us to do. So apparently she showed up at the stem cell seminar on Friday. And you and Gregory did your kind of magic, right? And then the next morning I woke up. this is just one magical thing about Meetup, but I woke up the next morning and I had an email from you saying, Connie, you have a new person who came last night. Here's her contact info. And I, a couple hours later, you know, I texted her because she's in a different time zone. I didn't want to wake her up, but then we got on the phone Saturday afternoon and she was so ready. She was like, sign me up. I've got it. I started this patch. I haven't even taken the patches off yet. You know, like she was afraid to take them off because she didn't want to stop feeling so zen. I mean, she just like really, so it was just the easiest enrollment. It was just like, okay, like who are you going to share this with? And let's figure out the best way. And oh, you're a nurse practitioner, you work for a private practice. You know, that's probably something you can do with a business. So it was really, really fun. So that was the LifeWave version.
Okay, but before you go on, did you know this woman?
No,
No,
not
I
until
hope everybody hears that. Connie did not know who she was. And would you be a little more specific in sharing how did you post? What did you post? Where did you post? How did you reach a specific market? Because that's kind of a new concept for a lot of people.
Yeah, that's a good idea. This is also in the mini course that everybody can get for free. So let me see if I can do kind of like a quick version of that. So basically the hierarchy in Meetup is that regular members, like this woman who signed up for the stem cell seminar, regular members can sign up for free. I signed up as an organizer, which means that I pay like 15 to 20 bucks a month to Meetup. And I set up a group. And the name of the group, I mean, we all know Facebook groups, right? And people just, their eyes roll at that point when they think about Facebook groups because it takes a lot of time. Meetup groups are totally different. They don't take a lot of time. You just got to set them up. So that's what I did on Thursday. So I named, I think the name of the Meetup group was like Vibrant Healing or Vibrant Health or something like that. So the name of the group is the specific result your people are looking for. And by the way, a ton of people on Meetup right now are interested in health because of what we've all been through in the last year. So that's another good reason why it's timing. So that was the name of the group. And then you and Gregory had come up with this brilliant name of the free stem cell seminar, right? And so that was the name of the Meetup, free stem cell seminar. I just took the PDF that you guys created. I copied and pasted. That was my description. I put the thing, I put the date. Then I announced, so I created up in the Meetup. Meetup has this very easy, form that you fill out. I announced the Meetup. And then as soon as you create your group, it goes to Meetup just once, the first time when you create it, it goes to Meetup to be approved. You just have to follow their guidelines, and I teach people all about that. It's not a big deal. But anyway, so the group went out to Meetup to be approved. It was approved, and then Meetup, this is everybody's groups, Meetup sends out this massive email all about your group and your talks that you've got coming up. And that's how she ended up in 24 hours in my group and RSVP'd and ended up going to Colorado.
And in your business.
Yeah, exactly. The next day. So this all happened in 48 hours, right? You know, like sign up a gold in 48 hours and just do it while you're sleeping. And literally Robin and Gregory did all the hard work.
This is a hint, everyone, of how to leverage yourself, your time, and the resources available. If you've never done Meetup before, when you do it, you actually categorize yourself. Why don't you talk a little bit about that, about how Meetup reaches the right people to invite? You want to share that?
You want me to talk about that? Yeah. So Meetup, so when, okay, so let's say the woman who signed up, her name is Beth. So she hears about Meetup, she signs up as a free member, and when she signs up, Meetup says, okay, well, you want to go to some Meetups, what are you interested in? So she might say business and health and cycling and hiking, and I happen to know she's a major hiker. So hers are probably all sports related, right? Because it sounds like she's pretty athletic. And then she must have put in business and health. And then when I created my Meetup group on the other side, when I created my Meetup group, the Vibrant Health Meetup group that I just mentioned, I also had to identify the themes for that group. So I probably had health and business and, you know, so that's how we met on Meetup, is because we both had a similar theme. And that's how Meetup said, okay, Connie, your group is approved. Let's make sure to let this person know over here and all these other people know that are interested in health, that that's what your group is about. Okay, so does Meetup geographically invite? Is that how that works? Yes. Okay. Geographically. Great. So this was, and when you go to create your group, now I have my son, he just moved from London, but my son lived in London until 3 days ago. And when I used to go visit him on vacation, I was there for 2 weeks, right? Here I am in Vermont, I would set up a Meetup group based in London. And I would schedule meetups to happen in London. So when you go to create your group, that's one of the first things you do as well, is to tell us where you want your meetups to be based. And so for the seminars, I did Colorado. Wow. So this was like a plant. It was to have it happen last week. I just love it. Now you can do it the other way too if you want to meet people of similar interests. Could you explain a little how that works? Let's say you're new to a city or you're traveling to London and you want to meet some people. How do you engage in a meetup, you know, as a participant? Yeah, so you can just go in, sign up for meetup.com, sign up as a free member, you know, do your whole theme thing. And then they'll probably ask you for your location. But you can go in and you can either Google or go into Meetup and say, okay, I'm going to be in London for 2 weeks. What meetups are happening? And actually connect with locals. I know people who are Meetup people, they, you know, maybe they're solo travelers, they're traveling to, I don't know, Bulgaria or something, and they decide they want to meet some locals. And so they just do a search on Bulgaria meetups, right? And then that will come up for them. So it goes both ways. Okay, so now we know a little bit how to set one up and how to be a participant. What are some of the mistakes that people make when they're using Meetup and that could be different? Yeah, so I call it a mistake, which is maybe a little harsh. There's nothing wrong with using Meetup in this way, but the reason I guess I call it a mistake is because when people hear I talk about getting clients, customers, and you know, network marketing people, business owners from Meetup, they say, well, Connie, I've already tried Meetup and it really doesn't work for me. And when I investigate further, typically I find that, first of all, that the strategy I teach is pretty unusual. I haven't run into too many people that know that strategy. And if you use my strategy, I guess I guess my experience kind of proves, my confidence. But if people are using Meetup for networking, which is fine, there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with going to like a meetup in San Francisco of fellow entrepreneurs who are looking to network and connect and pass referrals back and forth. There's nothing wrong with that, right? But that's the way most people who use Meetup as business owners are familiar with Meetup as a strategy. So the strategy I teach, and the reason why I got these numbers, and I can tell about my coaching numbers too, if you'd like, because that's a pretty fun one
That
too.
was where I was going to go next.
Oh, great. Okay. Yeah. Because
Go ahead.
That one has something to do with cows, which is kind of funny. But anyway, so there's nothing wrong with using Meetup for networking, right? But like Robin, if you and I and Gregory, let's say all the people that are on the call right now, let's say we're all on a meetup in, I don't know, Dallas or something, okay? And we're passing referrals back and forth to each other, business cards, getting to know each other, talking about, oh, I have a client who could possibly use your help with accounting, or, whatever it is that people are doing. So that's a great marketing strategy, but it's pretty indirect. So the reason I say it's a mistake if people don't, really use Meetup in this way, or I think of it as a mistake that business owners make, is that they only use Meetup for networking. So the strategy that I teach, and the reason why those numbers and that Colorado thing happened, right, with this new gold, is that when you run your own meetups with this strategy, you're the organizer, you run the meeting, you're the host, and it's your people are in the room. It's as if, well, I kind of did it for you, right? Like it's as if you and Gregory said, oh, let's create a meetup in Colorado Springs or in Denver, right? And then basically you had in the room with you the people who were interested in stem cells, right? You didn't have your colleagues, you had your own people. And that's why the conversion is so high.
Okay, so let's talk conversion. What else contributes to the kind of conversions that you're talking about, like up to 90%? I know that you ended up in LifeWave because of Dr. Tiana, and she was a client of yours, and she had amazing results. So why don't you share a little bit about the magic behind that, about those conversion numbers? Those are very exciting.
Yeah, so anybody who has had a business is familiar with the concept that, and this, I'm just going to throw this out here, right? Because this is for my coaching business, just as an example. For LifeWave, it's a whole different deal, right? You could do free stem cell seminars till the cows come home, right? And you'd be fine. But in a regular business, when you use Meetup for your regular business, like I did for business coaching, I had to get really specific about the problem I was helping people with. That's
okay, hear
a big
that?
One.
What's the problem that people are dealing with? Okay.
Okay. So you and Gregory, when you name your talks stem cell seminars, you're kind of inferring what the problem is, right? Because there's been so much talk and publicity about stem cells, and people kind of know, right? So you could say free stem cell seminar, and people are like, oh, okay, well, there's a million things I could probably use stem cells for, but they know it's health, right? But I'll tell you my example, and this is the silly cow story. So I live in Vermont, and there's this saying in Vermont that there are more cows than people. So I just want you to remember that, because it's a very rural state as I give you these numbers, okay? So this is my first meetup several years ago. It was like a 3-hour workshop. It was called, and again, here's the specific problem. At that time, I was helping people with life purpose. So it was called Passion and Purpose, 6 Steps to Create a Career You Love.
I want to go.
Very specific. So who's going to show up? The people who are confused about their life purpose, or they hate their jobs, or whatever. Okay, so that, back to your question on that. So Meetup sends out this massive email, right? And gets all these people to the group, right? So instead of me worrying about, okay, I want to have parties or whatever, but how do I get people there? Well, Meetup is the answer, and it's like your, $15 to $20 a month. So this is my first meetup on that topic, 3 hours long. 15 people showed up, which I was pretty happy with, right? Because it's pretty rural here. Out of the 15, 5 of them were already clients. And out of the 10 people left, I enrolled 9 out of 10 of those people. So there's that 90% number. Yeah. So that was pretty fun. And, and again, this is a coaching framework, same strategy, coaching, healing, whatever, service-based, life wave, they all work with this strategy. But because I was a coach at the time, I made $9,000 from that 2-3 hour workshop. People had all new to me.
Okay, so how did that happen? I mean, 90%, that's amazing. And did any cows show up?
I think, and somebody just posted a question about, was that in person? Yeah, this was in person. That's part of it. I mean, you and Gregory, it seemed to me as I watched the video, from where I was, that, the in-person workshops are really pretty transformational. So if you can do your meetups in person, that's great, but they work online as well. So that is part of the conversion.
Okay. Uh-oh. You froze. Come back, Connie. Okay. I don't know why Connie froze. Did she freeze for everybody else?
Yes.
Okay. Connie, come back. While she's okay, let's see if she there she is. You froze for a second.
Okay. Yeah, I just had a little Microsoft moment.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how that conversion happened. It doesn't take a lot of time, but it's just, it's just good relationship stuff, right? And because my talk topic was specific, so the right people got there, because my themes of my group were plugged into that topic and what I helped people with. So my people that didn't like their careers, that were confused about their life purpose, those people were all sitting in the room. I went over the 6 steps to create a career you love. I made my offer at the end for a free one-to-one conversation. And in those conversations, it was just really, really quick.
How fabulous is that? So you mentioned in person and online. Would you talk a little bit about, you talked about remotely, you're in Vermont, you invite someone in Colorado to show up. That worked. Okay, that was a live event. You weren't there and it still worked. You have live meetups. Now, what about online meetups for people that can't get out and about, or it's not convenient, or they want to open up a certain market, or just reach out, in many places? How does that work?
Yeah, it works basically the same. You just, instead of giving people a location, you give them a Zoom link and you do it online. And, often I would have my meetups like once a week in person. With online, I mean, you could do several a week. I mean, it's just really easy because you're not having to go anywhere. And the thing is, I mean, this is kind of a silver lining in the pandemic. Meetup before the pandemic, because their original mission was really there was a focus on people connecting in person. I think they were created right after 9/11, and they just had this whole community theme. In person was really important. And when the pandemic happened, like a lot of businesses, they had to kind of do the shift, right? And so they added virtual meetups, and I don't think they are going away. They're just, now they actually, what's that?
They're too convenient.
Yeah. And so anyway, so you can do them virtually, you can do them in person, you can do them remotely. I mean, it's just, it's such, and, like 35 million people who are interested, a lot of them in the topic of health, especially now, right? And they want to get together, whether it's on Zoom or whatever. So you could actually have a meetup like you guys did in Colorado. You could actually have a meetup in person, right? And then you could have one you could broadcast it at the same time so people have a choice.
Love it. Okay. So before we run out of time, I know you keep inferring this free course, but you also have another offer. I want to make sure everybody knows about. And then we have a few questions if you're willing to stick around for a few minutes after.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm happy
So why
to
don't
do
you
that.
talk about this free offer and then you have a course also.
Yeah,
And how do we put it in the chat?
I will. So I'm going to attempt to put it in the chat.
Attempt? What's that? That sounds like, didn't Yoda say trying doesn't work?
I know. I'm just having a little screen thing here with Zoom for some reason.
Okay.
I do want to mention first, though, that for those of you who are thinking about Terry Werner's course on empowering your vision, and you kind of like this idea of Meetup, you can actually create your vision with Terry and then use Meetup to implement that vision. So
Wow.
that's just a thought. But here's the free course. So let me type this into the chat. It's called the Magical Meetup Strategy mini course. It basically gives you the outline and the details, the back end, which isn't complicated, but it's the back end of how you get those people in the room and get those numbers.
I wrote in the magical meetup strategy.
Great. So let me just do a copy and a paste here.
Okay.
So if you go to create a career you love.com, that will get you the meetup strategy. So let's see, I'm in the chat, Robin, but I can't seem to post anything.
Did you post it? Why don't you say it and I'll type it in? Oh, there it is.
Oh, there it is. Okay, great. Okay, hosts and panelists. Okay, I need to change it to everybody, right?
Create a careeryouLove.com.
Yeah, and then
Thank you,
I also,
Leslie.
What's that?
Leslie wrote it in.
Oh, great. So there's the link, and then there's what you get. And this is free, okay? I'm going to be like LifeWave. I'm going to say there's 3 ways to get started. This is the first way to get started. It's just to download this mini course at createacareeryouLove.com. It has all the details of how I created those numbers, both LifeWave and in my coaching business. There's a PDF and an audio of that. Then remember I talked about the talk, there's a whole sample talk script in there in Word. Wow. And then there's a stay connected form. So you get all that stuff for free. And then this is the really fun part, where we have lots of bonuses.
Connie loves to give bonuses. I'm on her email list, and oh my gosh, she offers so much. And you've got your systems down, my dear. It's fabulous. It's fabulous. Yeah. Oh, Leslie says you're the bonus queen.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So let's see. I know in the chat, I can't type in too much at once.
Okay.
Because it'll cut it off. So let me just do a couple of. So this is the Teach and Get Clients program. And don't let the title confuse you, because it's LifeWave, it's clients, it's whatever you want it to be. Okay, so there's the link, teachandgetclients.com. And then let me type in the bonuses. So the first 20 people get the double your income mantra that enables you to double your income in 6 months or less in just 5 minutes a day. And then the first 20 people also get my program for making money in network marketing. Okay, so there's the bonuses for the first 20 people. And that link is live right now. So as soon as people want to use that, that's fine. Okay, so here is what I just added. So there's a couple things. There is a live bonus call for anybody. So the first 20 get all of the above, right? And then everybody gets the bonus call where they can get coaching from me, because the Teach and Get Clients program is a home study. Okay.
At
So
your own
there's the
pace and
information.
your own timing. Okay.
Yeah. So there's the information about the bonus call, but then Gregory and Robin and I actually came up with another bonus yesterday for people who sign up. And this is everybody who signs up for the Teach and Get Clients program. You know, Michelle mentioned yesterday in the business call that she wanted to triple her business at the end of the summer on September 22. And then I got thinking, well, why don't we try to wrap that into Meetup, because that'll make it really easy. So what I worked out with Robin and Gregory yesterday is that there's actually going to be an opportunity for everybody who enrolls in the Teach and Get Clients program, which, by the way, is $99. I think I posted that in there. It's usually $9.97. It's $99 for the LifeWave folks. And there's actually a bonus where when you enroll, there's an opportunity for you to earn prizes.
Oh, I love it. I love all these wonderful gifts you offer. And another time we might have to have you back and talk about self-care, because oh my gosh, that's such a powerful topic. So we are at the bottom of our 30 minutes, and we like to keep our calls to 30 minutes of wisdom, which you provided a lot of for people. Oh my goodness. And I can feel the buzz of people thinking, oh, I think I want to do this. And it's exciting because there's no excuses. If you think you've run out of a warm market, there's 35 million people out there to tap into through this resource, and it's a powerful one. And so this was fabulous, Connie, to really give people can run with what you said today, and you have your free course and you have your home study course, so with lots of other bonuses. So I invite everyone to check out Connie's resources, and we will make sure we get you all these links and all this information. If you didn't, there's a few 3 dots at the bottom where you can save the chat. And so Teach and Get Clients program, Connie's busy writing. So I know a few of you have some questions, so I want to get to your questions. And so Connie, Carolee's asking, can you change the location for future meetups, or do you need to create a new group? Good question.
I've never tried to change the location, actually. I can find out the answer to that.
Okay. And that's from Carolee. And
yeah, I guess it depends on what you're trying to do, because the only reason I can think of you would want to change the location is that you wanted to let people know about virtual meetups that were happening, and you can just share those virtual meetups and people don't have to be located in the original location.
Okay. Great. And Judy's asking, is there a coupon number to add?
No, you just go to teachandgetclients.com, and you'll see right at the top, it'll say $99, normally $9.97.
Great. And I knew there was another question. Let me see if I can find it. What Kira is asking, what is the fine line between promoting a business and promoting an informational event?
Yeah, this is interesting. So Meetup has a guideline that they don't want people in their community to just show up at an event and be sold from beginning to end. So if someone's asking for the coupon code, you don't need a coupon code, just enter your email address and it'll take you straight to the checkout. That's only if you have a coupon code, which you don't need. Okay, so so there's a couple things you can do. I mean, for me, you know, when I made $9,000 in that meetup, I just invited people to one-on-one conversation, right? That could be a free offer at the end. Same thing with LifeWave. You could offer people a free sample, right? That's something you can offer for free, right? Now, what's interesting is that meetup organizers are offering sponsors for their meetups that they're holding, and they're letting their sponsors show up in front of the group and invite them to their store or their business. Now, I consider that selling. And this was, I saw this, it was actually a Facebook Live I saw yesterday that Meetup sponsored to have this organizer talk, and the organizer talked about sponsorship. So I kind of feel like Meetup is like the doors closed on that one. You don't have to worry about it. For instance, if you follow my talk script in the Magical Meetup strategy, which you can totally get for free, you're fine, because it's mostly service and mostly content. And then at the end, you make your offer for whatever it is. Okay. So if you're coming from a place of service, if you just want to help people, right? You don't have anything to worry about. It's just if you begin to sell from the beginning to the end, and people are just like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize this was going to be just one sale.
Okay, so it's not a heavy sales event. It's an educational event. And then you have your follow-up like Connie does with her one-on-ones. And then you offer people whatever that may be. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so Carolee has another question. She says, is there a second stem cell event if there is a second stem cell event in a different location? Well, Gregory's got
what you just said and ask Connie to clarify what I heard, because as we did at our stem cell seminars, at the end we said there's 3 ways to get started: as a customer, distributor, et cetera. And I explained it in detail, and I told people to get back with the person who invited you here, so you don't have to necessarily skip the close at the meeting. It just can't be a close front to back. It's a meeting, seminar, education with a close at the end.
That's a great point. And I hadn't seen what your end looked like yet. I haven't seen the recording yet, so I wasn't sure how you finished. But I'll tell you one thing is that I did not announce the meetup that was the paid meetup for distributors. Mm-hmm. Because that is the intent of that is to get people started, right? It was just the educational, as Robin said, just the educational one.
Perfect. Thank you for that clarification.
It's a really important distinction. So if you're really interested, really read the guidelines and get yourself set up, so you can be on those lists and see what's going on in your area too. And Mike has a question. Mike, you want to write in your question in the chat? Because he's got his hand up and I can see if I can.
And something tells me we're going to have a lot of people in your course, including me.
I'm excited. This is like
about meetups in the Live Younger community. So thank you. This was so awesome, Connie. It opens so many doors. It's beautiful.
That's great. And I mean, honestly, the two of you do so much for all of us. And this, I mean, if we can grow our businesses ourselves, and also obviously this is all together, we're part of kind of the same pod, right? As Dr. Walt says, I mean, I'm happy to be able to support the two of you. And I was thrilled. I was like, well, I heard you say, send people to Colorado. I was like, okay, I think I'll go do that. Let me go set up a meetup. And then, it was one person, but it was a brand new group, and it's just going to grow from there.
Beautiful.
One person can change your business, as we know in this business, and it's someone you didn't know. So, well, Mike asked a question about saving the chat, and I said, I'll save it and send it to him. So, any other final questions for Connie? This is really exciting. I think you've got a lot of wheels turning, Connie. This is going to be so fun. And we promised Connie we wouldn't tell her secret before Colorado. But then she let the cat out of the bag, because there's abundance for everyone.
Yeah, there's so many different layers that we didn't even have a chance to talk about. Really fun.
Definitely lots of layers, and it's a learning process. The more you do it, the better you get, and those conversions are available for everyone. And we know that, Darlene's doing home meetings on a regular basis. Oh, let me just ask that one question. So you're inviting strangers. So some people may not be comfortable inviting them to their home. So, a public location.
Yeah, so you can totally do a public location. That's what I did my first time. I just kind of said, ask the divine, hey, don't send anybody to my house. that I don't want here, right? And it was fine. And I actually, so what I did is I had the event in a local holistic center kind of a place. And then I was like, I really love doing these. I'm going to start doing them every single week. And I'm not schlepping into Burlington every week to do these. I'm going to have them in my home and people can come to me. And so I had them weekly in my home for months and months.
Weekly, months and months and months. Wow. So you know, you can invite your friends to your home, or you can, you know, in your community, or you can get a public location. There's free locations, there's paid locations. So lots and lots of options. So in your course, I imagine we're going to learn a lot more. And final question from Wendy is, if you do the same seminar each month in a different location, is it always a different event to post?
So my thought is that with the stem cell seminars, I mean, Gregory, you said this yesterday when you and I were coming up with those fun bonuses for people that, you know, for the Teach and Get clients. I mean, that title's kind of a gold mine.
Mm-hmm.
And just because somebody couldn't come last Monday, you know, to the stem cell seminar doesn't mean that they can't come this Wednesday to the stem cell seminar. So I think it's fine to have the same ones. I have 2 or 3 titles kind of going on in mine that lead to LifeWave. If you're using this for coaching or healing, you can come up, let's say you do a monthly meetup, you can come up with 6 topics, rotate them through. And then once you're done with month 6, you're just repeating the same topics.
Yeah, great. So Connie, amazing. Oh, we got a little endorsement from one of your clients. I have taken Connie's course at its $997 fee, and ROI and fulfillment was beyond belief. At this price and all the bonuses, no brainer. You deserve to have it all. Connie is a master. Well, thank you, Dr. Tiana. That was a great way to end things, as we've got so many treasures in our community, and you're one of them that's just so generously sharing your wisdom with our community to help everyone grow and blossom. Gregory, did you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention anyone can highlight, copy, and paste anything out of the chat. So if there's anything you want in the chat, grab it now, just highlight. You can copy and highlight the whole thing if you want, and just paste it into a Word doc or into an email. So that's very accessible to everyone.
Okay. Well, this was, Connie, this was enlightening. This is such a gift for our community to have you involved in it. And I think people see Connie on our chats. She's here and available, and she's got wonderful other treasures too that you can look into once you get connected to Connie. And thank you so much for offering your wisdom, your 30 minutes of wisdom to our community. And this will be available on our YouTube channel, Live Younger YouTube.com, on Monday. It's usually available on Friday, but our assistant won't be here till Monday. So we'll have that available for everybody. And goodbye to the Facebook group. We'll see, we're reaching lots of people this way, you know. I love it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for 30 minutes of wisdom. And thank you, tech support, Gregory. Okay, bye, everybody.
Bye.